On June 3rd, 2024, troopers attempted to stop a white Nissan Versa on I-555 after learning it was uninsured, but the driver refused to pull over and continued at low speeds through city streets. When re-entering the interstate, the pursuit escalated and the suspect accelerated past 100 mph. Two tactical vehicle intervention attempts followed. The second forced the car into a concrete wall before both vehicles struck the median barrier. The driver was pulled from the wreck and arrested. She was charged with felony fleeing, reckless driving, no insurance, and faced a $10,000 warrant. On September 27, 2022, troopers spotted a stolen gold Mercedes C23 on GA204 near a construction zone. When officers attempted to stop, the driver, later identified as Melissa Smith, fled at speeds over 100 mph, brake-checking patrol units as passengers rode along. PIT maneuver disabled the car, and Smith was arrested after trying to flee on foot.
They belong to you. That's what I was thinking.
She claimed to have been kidnapped, but investigators confirmed she was in a relationship with passenger Bruce Rogers. A search uncovered meth needles and drug paraphernalia. Smith was booked on felony fleeing theft, DUI drugs, and possession charges. On July 8, 2024, Trooper A. Cass clocked a silver Land Rover at 72 miles per hour in a 50 miles per hour construction zone on I-30 East. When he tried to stop the SUV, the driver fled across the river bridge, exited at Broadway, and re-entered the interstate, weaving dangerously.
Before you get a chance in, before you get out of control, please. Westbound.
A TVI attempt failed, and the suspect then drove the wrong way into oncoming traffic before a second maneuver forced a collision. Troopers pinned the vehicle and the driver was arrested.
44, do not let them get on the wrong way on the interstate. Get it stopped, folks.
Open alcohol containers were found, and charges include felony fleeing DWI, reckless driving, and endangering a minor. On July 12, 2023, troopers joined a pursuit after two gray Teslas sped eastbound from mile marker 256, reaching triple-digit speeds through heavy traffic. One suspect exited, but the lead Tesla, driven by Williams, continued weaving recklessly across lanes and ran over stop sticks set by West Memphis police. After multiple failed TVI attempts, troopers finally spun the Tesla near mile marker 282, where the driver rammed a patrol unit before fleeing again. A final intervention disabled the car and both occupants were arrested.
He hit 24
Williams now faces charges including fleeing aggravated assault and drug possession. On August 26, 2024, Trooper Jeremy Elliott attempted a traffic stop on a white Chevrolet van after learning the driver, 61-year-old David Lewis, was suspended. Lewis responded by flipping off the trooper before fleeing south on Highway 109, tossing bags from the vehicle crossing lanes and reaching 100 miles per hour. Multiple TVI attempts failed until Lewis lost control, turning onto Cox Valley Road, crashing into a ditch, and rolling the van onto its side.
Started 1016, 1016. Rolling. Hi!
He was arrested without further incident and charged with felony fleeing, reckless driving, littering, and failure to signal. On January 22, 2025, Jacksonville police requested state assistance in a pursuit of a vehicle bearing plate BAI 24E on I-57 South.
Per Air 4, they stay to the right. It's a black Lexus 28, boy Adam Ida 24 Edward.
There's a unit behind. Press down for a picture. Yeah, I'll call it on.
Trooper Dwayne Niles joined as the suspect sped west onto I-40, where at mile marker 153 he executed a precise TVI, sending the car into the median.
report you.
Feeling good, Ken. Hands out!
Officers conducted a felony takedown, and the driver, identified as Levar Ellis, was arrested without incident. A search of the vehicle revealed fentanyl, and Ellis was transferred to Drug Task Force custody. The vehicle was impounded by Blue Hill Record. On October 22nd, 2022, a trooper monitoring traffic on I-20 East near mile marker 88 clocked a gray Volkswagen Jetta at 97 miles per hour in a 70 zone. When emergency lights and sirens were activated, the driver accelerated further, weaving rapidly through lanes in an apparent attempt to flee. The trooper pursued, gradually closing the distance as the suspect continued reckless maneuvers.
Alright. Hey, the people on the street, come back over here. You're not in custody yet. You guys are turning back in. Roll up. Roll up.
The incident escalated into a high-speed pursuit, with charges expected to include felony fleeing and reckless driving once the driver was apprehended. On May 30th, 2021, CPLR Youngblood observed a vehicle on I-75-85 north traveling at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. When the driver realized he was near a patrol car, he slowed but still passed at an unlawful speed. Once lights and sirens were activated, the driver refused to stop, weaving recklessly through traffic and pushing speeds over 140 miles per hour. The pursuit moved onto GA 400 North, where the suspect shut off headlights and taillights to evade detection, even driving on the wrong side of the roadway through residential areas. The chase ended when the vehicle crashed near Childers Road, disabling it. The driver fled on foot, evading capture despite a taser deployment and a K9 track. A search of the vehicle uncovered an open alcoholic beverage, a phone, and evidence linking it to the registered owner. Charges are pending. On March 15, 2021, Georgia State Patrol joined a pursuit on GA 61 after a fleeing vehicle sped northbound toward I-20.
Ready for travel.
As the suspect slowed to enter the eastbound ramp, a trooper forced the car off the roadway, sending it down an embankment where it struck a tree. The trooper's vehicle rolled into the wreck, pinning the suspect car. The driver and front passenger escaped on foot across the interstate, while a rear passenger was detained and cooperated with troopers. Carroll County authorities assumed the investigation and charges. On July 31st, 2021, a trooper spotted a black Chrysler 300 performing donuts at Jonesboro Road and Lakewood Avenue. When emergency lights were activated, the driver fled southbound at extreme speeds, weaving recklessly through city streets and endangering pedestrians by jumping curbs and parking lots. Even after blowing a rear tire, the suspect continued at high speed and nearly struck multiple vehicles. The pursuit entered GA 166 East, where a forceful PIT spun the car into a parked tractor trailer. Both occupants ran, but the driver was caught after a foot chase and booked into Fulton County Jail. On September 8, 2024, around 11:30 p.m., troopers pursued a vehicle eastbound on I-40 near mile marker 373 after erratic driving was reported. A tactical vehicle intervention brought the car to a stop in the inside lane, but the driver initially failed to respond to commands, showing only limited movement inside the scene. After repeated orders, the suspect slowly exited, crawled onto the roadway, and was taken into custody. The man was highly intoxicated, unable to walk unassisted, and bleeding from the nose after falling. He was checked by EMS and transported for medical evaluation.